This is that one for Brown I have. I'm going to put that in an envelope.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you sort it all out.
Yeah, I was over at Brown. It was a really weird day today. What a strange scene over at Brown today. You're funny over there.
More unusual?
Some days when it gets weird at Brown and the staff, the normal staff sees weird stuff, they're politically correct. That's when I just walk out. I says, that's it. Because they get politically correct over there. And I won't be able to handle that.
Yeah, right.
And then they'll say, well, here's what's his name in the building again. Well, this strange stuff. And they talk like that. You never know. And they, these institutions get really bizarre sometimes. You just don't know what could happen in a politically correct place. I have problems with that.
Safe space.
Well, I have to go get a safe space and just walk out. They have Safe Walk over there. You know that program?
Oh, yeah, Safe Walk.
So, but I'm just telling you in comical terms, when I have a problem in places like that, like an airport, and they think when I'm involved is real bizarre, I'm out. Goodbye. I'll talk to you next week,
Yeah.
Because there's really conservative people in a lot of places in this country, and they bump into strange stuff. They don't take that too well. So I can sense it. Yeah, I sensed it today. I have good psychic abilities. So I just said, I'm out. Goodbye. And so I did that that whole routine. I've done that a million times. Done it at airports. It was a weird scene at Brown today. I only spent a few hours over there. That was it. Yeah, I want to keep my space over there. I'm trying to protect what I'm doing over there. That's what it is. So if they do something real crazy, well, you're out.
You got a room over at Brown?
No, I'm just research stuff. I'm trying to protect what I'm doing over there. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't want to lose that situation because they're helping with this. And some of the staff don't take too well with this. Believe me. They get very politically correct, and if you're doing something strange that they don't accept, and but they're getting money for it too. That's the strange part about it. They're taking government money that they don't even know they took.
Everything's about money.
Well, they took some government money for this research, like strange research.
Yeah, but government money that's funding research about government information. You don't see the conflict of interest there?
There is a conflict of interest, but the Brown, our university do research for governmental projects all over the world every day.
But only about ones they want you to know about.
Right, and then the other stuff is under the table, like secret black ops programs. They slip it under the table so that they don't even know they got it, and then they're stuck. But I'm in a weird situation with this because I have to do this up front through another channel, but I'm going to protect what I'm doing, and I don't want to lose that spot over there. I don't want to talk about houses, the research stuff.
Yeah.
Like the professor's getting money off of this too. He's I don't know if he's greedy or not. He's a genius, but I don't know what to think. I got something on, just about finished with it, but I'll show you something else. I have to protect this stuff from the rain. It was pouring rain yesterday.
Yeah.
I had to protect everything in plastic yesterday from getting wet.
Snowing in New York.
Oh, it was rain. I was out in the rain yesterday. It was crazy.
Vermont snowing.
And I'm funny about this stuff because when I do this work, I try to keep it perfect. I'm funny with this stuff. I'll give it something else I'll put in here. I got a map on Stonehenge.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Put something together. Here, I don't know. Is she going to be acceptable to this?
Yeah, I'll give it to her. I'll make sure she says thank you.
All right. Because I went to her last time, and then we had
she said that you came by, and
because
she was a little weird about it just because she was working and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I bump into this a lot like that. People ask me for this stuff, and I come in another time, and then they get weirded out like it doesn't connect. sometimes it connects well, other times I have this problem all over the place.
Yeah, it's no big deal. But
Yeah, I've done this in a government building once, right? And somebody,
Yeah?
and then they, the Federal Protective Service, they guard the government buildings, the federal police.
Yeah.
So I knew one of them. It's always good to know security in any building in the
Oh,
world.
absolutely.
In case something happens, they know. I have to tell them what's going on. I tell them a lot. You know why? Because that way they, if there's an emergency, they know it's not connected to me.
No.
They know what I'm about.
All right.
And when I have to do that for a reason, because I don't want them. I don't want to be in a big jam. I've been in big jams with some stuff,
Yeah.
with this stuff. Really, I was at a jam one time at an airport with this.
Yeah.
Something really went weird in the airport one day, and I knew people there that were into this. And one of the, you ever see like some airports have National Guard bases on them, like down south? If you go to South Carolina, there's a base next to a regular airport. That's how they do some things sometimes. So I wanted to get to the National Guard base down in this place in the Carolinas once, and they know me over there, right? And so I had to go through the normal airport to get into the other section. So they didn't know me. So I get in there, and some security comes up. Wait, now hold it right there. This is that, because they got this strange stuff emits energy. There's like a energy field in these things. Even the paperwork has energy.
Huh.
Yeah, I've studied.
you gotta look into that new thing that they found.
I'm going to do that for you.
It's, I think it's pretty interesting. Like SETI. That's
SETI, yeah, the
that's
search
what-
for extra.
But I don't know if it was those.
The name of that person that runs it is. I met him once. I went to a place in New York at Columbia, and they had an open house for space stuff. And the guy that runs space stuff, the telescope, I think I might have met him. The guy that runs SETI.
Oh, boy.
So she got the envelope.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
back there right now.
what did she say about it?
I mean, she has customers right now, but she like nodded and said thanks.
Said thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of strange reactions when I'm trying to drop stuff off. I've had that many times over the years. I do it at an offbeat time. They tell me to come back, like at a government place or a research center, and I'm trying to get them the material. But sometimes when they're busy, I come back another time. Like that day you asked me when it was busy, it wasn't really a good time. I came back when it was not busy. And I don't know, I run into this a lot. Today was strange at Brown. It was really bizarre. I had a bizarre. I was going to spend 5 hours at, they have machines over there at the lab, and they have.
I'm sure they're trying to cut down on strangers because of holiday partying. They don't want people just wandering
but
around.
You see,
So-
when you have like a past record with them, and they see you coming through, and like, what is he working on now? What does he want now?
Well, yeah.
And I don't spend a lot of time because I'm always moving around with this stuff, so I'm not overdoing it. But if I might go in a place over and over again 30, 50 times. I had projects over at Columbia University, in New York City. You heard of that? And I used to come in and out of there like 10 times a week. And they used to flip out sometimes, like, what is he doing now? He's been in and out of this door 20 dozen times.
Well, yeah.
And they get nervous because they know something's up.
Well,
And a lot of them I don't talk to. I walk by the staff. But one day, I was at Columbia,
yeah.
and they had like a science fair. And I walk in there. It's an open house. You're invited. They had food and all that. So the lady comes up to me and what are you working on? Are you working on the staff here? Are you working on a project here? What is your professional area? And this would pop up. I says, well, how do I explain this to you? It's hard to explain it because a lot of times I might not want to talk to somebody I just met about it.
Yeah.
So I said the wrong word. It sounded like supernatural science. That really flipped them up.
Yeah?
Well, it was a lady and man there.
Sounds
and-
pretty straightforward to me.
Well, it was,
know?
but
Yeah.
when you talk bluntly like that, and they probably were conservative, they probably didn't take it too well. And maybe some of them were scientists there, and they said supernatural science. What does that mean? And you know, they asked me like, because to put it like that, it could flip some people out because it's kind of abnormal wording, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
But I says, well, I'll tell you, crop circles, pyramids. I started talking like that. I got some wicked looks. Some people can take to this, but if it's a professional staff at like a government institution, you know, and you ever walk into a government building that's very conservative, and the first time you ever walked in the place, and you can feel the tension because everything's a secret.
Yeah.
And I want to socialize and say something, but should I be saying anything? You know, that would be the first question. I just want, can I knock on this door in this department and talk to you people about this? Oh, I've done that, but it got me into problems. I tell you, I had a problem in a government building once. I went in to deliver a package. We sent out a package, and we had another package that we thought, so we're going to hand deliver. I want to meet the staff. I want to know who's who. It's like the military. When they're working on projects, it's face-to-face, secret. Like in Afghanistan, they work on projects face-to-face. That's how they keep it secret. I want to know who these people are, so that if you want to keep it secret, I'm going to talk to you up front inside your government building. And I'm going to put like a puzzle on your wall. I'm going to put a pyramid on your table. You know, I've done things like that, and I'm going to explain that it's going to levitate. And maybe that's the building that you're going to have here in the future is going to have a foundation. You know, I've done some pretty odd stuff over the years with a lot of things. That's just my nature. That's the nature of this work. You won't believe how many bizarre secret projects that this government has done over the years. Millions of them. They had a project once, right? I don't know. The Army had a psychic unit. I don't know if you've heard of that. You could actually look up this in the archives. They actually did psychic research, looking into outer space. And the lady that I met was part of the project. You heard of Fort Meade? The secret base. NSA, Scientific Intelligence Agency, you know, agencies you never even heard of, okay? You know what she told me? One day they were doing an experiment in a lab and they were dressed up in gorilla suits. And they were trying to experiment to see if we came from apes. So they did a psychic project. And they had to be dressed up in gorilla suits. And this is a true story. The Army did an experiment like that. The Army took regular Army people and said, look, would you like a better type of work? They do this all the time. You know, like a Area 51? I know a man and a lady that work there right now. And this is a true story. They were trying to meet the aliens, real aliens. And they had to morphosize into a real alien. They gave him injections and he couldn't, like, I don't know what was going on with this, but it's a true story. But he was just an MP. Got in the underground facility, like at Guantanamo Bay. I knew somebody that worked at Guantanamo.
Yeah? Wow.
That was a weird place. You know, where they put the detainees? And he was an MP there. One day I was on a base, and he called my name. Who the hell is that? And I remember, that's John. What the heck? They assigned you to that place? Oh, yeah. I remember him when I was foster home. He went to the school I went to. He went in the Army. I never knew that. And then I bumped into him. What the heck? I bump into strange stuff all the time. So these people worked at Area 51, right? And what was weird about it was they were doing cloning. Did you know that he told me the Navy has what we call alien clones? For real. Alien clone underground base. For real. Imagine that. I says, come on.
Yeah.
It's not for me. People like he told me something about the signal I didn't know about.
No.
I don't know everything. People tell me things and I have to look it up. I said, cloning what? Real aliens with humans, or what are they doing? Well, they were trying to do a psychic experiment, telepathically. To telepathically, you know what they did? The colonel, it's always like a colonel or a general that runs, strange programs.
Yeah.
They're like the, you remember the Minuteman missile program?
Yep.
That was a weird one. With Raytheon, with the radar. My uncle worked on that. Step-on. What underground, they had bases in Maine. Up in limestone. Weird stuff.
Right here in Swansea, they have missile bases.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They had these weird places that my uncle would tell me about growing up. Like, what? Is that real? And now, I find out all this is real. It took me a long time to learn. Anyway, at the base at 51, it's as big as Arizona. 100 separate cities, like Atlantis. I said, what the heck is going on here? And you know what's even bigger? The Bermuda Triangle, the cities on the ocean. Under the Atlantic Ocean.
Really? I haven't heard that before.
Well, I just find these things out. You know, I took the Navy guy to lunch, like paid. You know, I have enough in a budget. I've been cutting corners budgets because I'm spending a lot on a lot of stuff. Anyway, I get this grant. DOD, Department, sends me this program grant from that nutty professor from Columbia that I know, right? He got the grant, and he sent me part of the check. In like a weird-looking U.S. postal, what the hell is this thing? I open up, I get a check, and it looked like a treasury check. And I had to make some phone calls to see if this was real or not. It came from a secret budget program. It's hard to trace this stuff. I had to make sure the check was good. I don't want to, I got to be everything, make sure everything's okay. I have to check everything out with everything. Anyway, I find out that it was part of a grant program, a secret program. So all of a sudden, this person leaves a voice message on me. He says, look, you're part of the grant program. We need your help. Check into this and see if you can go to Edmonds. You know, Edmonds, a scientific place. You know, like, the ones that make telescope, that makes telescopes? Well, I called them up. I said, I got a pot for a telescope. And the man says, is this for a government project? Because if it's a big telescope, you got to get permission to buy an optical pot. Because, the government, like, you buy stuff for, say if you build like a space, let's say if you build a rocket ship, you got to get permission from the government to do that, like if you have like a 747,
Yeah.
you get permission from the government to fly it. I mean, you can own it, but you can't fly it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like that. So all of a sudden, this man's asked me, like, who gave you permission to get this kind of glass? This is like space stuff. Well, I got a number here from this department, and it cleared. And then I knew it was from that professor.
Huh.
He set that project up. You won't believe what goes on with this stuff. It's bizarre. Raytheon does a lot of stupid programs. Raytheon, satellites, radar. It's a weird company. And you know what their stock price is now? Way over 195.
Oh, yeah?
That's ridiculous. That means they're doing very well.
Oh, yeah.
And something's going on with that company. Like, Textron?
Yep.
That's another strange. It's right down the headquarters. I go by that place. Nobody knows what's going on. I know they build a lot of bizarre stuff. Helicopters, Bell helicopters.
Missiles, drones.
It's a strange company. And who would think it's based right here?
Yeah.
Bizarre as heck. Bizarre as heck. Anyway, like, when I go into these programs, so I get this piece for a telescope, and this is bizarre as heck. All this stuff. So I get it, and they're trying to build a frequency telescope to signal out in the galaxy for like sounds. It's kind of bizarre. I had no idea. That's complicated to build that.
Oh, yeah.
They're building that from scratch. So who knows, you know, like, go get this piece, go get that piece, log it in, and send it back to the lab. It's all kinds of stuff. Then one day I had to send something to a base one day, right? It was on an alien spaceship crash. And, oh, did I ever tell you about the alien spaceship that crashed in the Atlantic and the Bermuda Triangle? And the aliens got on board the U.S. Navy nuclear sub, the Trident, one of them last year.
What?
The
Nope.
Navy guy, I met him and his wife and other person that worked with him and his staff. I was in like Long Island, New Jersey. You know, they're in Connecticut. You know where else they have a sub base? In Georgia.
Yep. Yep.
That's a strange place down there. Well, that happened to happen out of Georgia. I don't know if it was Seawolf or something like that. Whatever that was, it was scientific. The Admiral, you know what he was doing? He wasn't a good leader. A good admiral would have never did that. He was sending out frequencies to outer space without permission.
Wow. All right.
What admiral does that? I mean, he was trying to contact it to get in touch with a spaceship to bring it into the ocean. And actually they made contact. This Navy guy comes out with his pocket, like a round thing like this, and it floated up in midair. What the heck is that? I thought it was a disk for a computer. It was some kind of magic thing. And it right away, he spoke, and the thing made an image in the middle of the air. I'm sitting down on the table, and people who were around here knew something bizarre was going on. And the image would just float on between us as we were sitting on the table. There's no thing like that on this planet that can do that. And how does the military, I don't know, how they get a hold of something like that? Maybe they got it off the alien spaceship. I don't know what that is, but he pulled out of his pocket, and all of a sudden, like, there's some information I can give you if you want to learn something. But if you get to, if you're going to broadcast this, just let a few people know. And you know why they do that for? He didn't feel safe about it. He had to get it out. I'm the same way. Like, I'm talking to you here. I don't talk to nobody else. Why? Because psychically, I know that it's safe. I need to get the word out in order to protect things, you know, in case something happens. And I think like that's what the Navy guy did, because he said that this project, whatever was going on, was not authorized, and he wasn't safe with it. And he needed to get to the outside world to let somebody know. And I just went to another base. You know what I did? I dropped a package about that anonymously. I wiped the package clean so you couldn't trace it.
Yep.
I don't want them coming back to me, because if they looked into that and they found out that was real, you know what they send out? Intel. Right?
Yep.
And I don't want that. So I dropped it off to some sergeant's office. And who knows what they'll probably go to Intel. Hey, look, I got something for you. I'm not stupid. I know what's going on with this. And most of the time, nothing happens because I'm 800 miles away. I don't do that around here.
No.
I go somewhere else with that. You know what the Navy guy wanted to do is relay it somewhere.
Yeah.
He wanted it out of his hands. I says, I can't take your disc or whatever that is. You keep that. I don't want that. That's yours. He was nervous because you know what happened to the crew? They teleported onto the alien spaceship because the alien spaceship was not happy about being contacted. It could have been Atlantia, Zika. It's one of those futuristic civilizations.
Huh.
There's another one called the Xantes. Xanti is the insect alien, extraterrestrial, about 300 million years from our time period, about that small. And they can grow like a tree and morph. The spaceships levitate, small, big, test tube. They can take a building, put in a test tube, put on a spaceship, and make the building grow.
Wow.
Oh man, this is just and you know what their sound was? It was like it was like telepathic. It was a weird sound. It was on this holographic disc.
Huh.
And the Navy guy had a piece of it. So the Admiral was stuck aboard the Navy ship with the missiles
Yep.
on the East Coast. That's dangerous. So what happened was the aliens were playing a trick to do, and what they did is they beamed the crew back, supposed like nothing happened. It came back to normal, and their memories of the crew only had a piece of this memory of what happened. It always happens like that.
Yep.
And they got back to normal, and the submarine was like, it was bizarre. And even the Pentagon didn't know nothing about it. They just thought it was moving around normally, and they never knew nothing happened. You imagine going to somebody at the Pentagon and say, hey, do you know what happened to your ship? They would totally become Looney Tune like 9/11. Oh my God, this is a world emergency. How could that? There's nothing they can do about that. So then, supposedly, somebody tipped off, you ever heard of NORAD?
Yep.
They tipped off NORAD to go look for the sun.
Yep.
After it happened, that must have flipped them out, because if they can't find anything, it was an abnormal call that they would just, who made that